Hey everyone, it's Terry over at Decorate with Tip and More. I have a super fun DIY for you today on our video. I hope you sit back and enjoy. For my yard ornament, I want a little ladybug planter. I saw them online and I just thought they were super cute, but I didn't want to pay the price for that little yard ornament. So I thought I could make my own. So I went to Dollar Tree and I kind of scrolled down the aisles and I found the things that I think will work to make a little ladybug for my flower bed. I'm going to take a plastic bowl from Dollar Tree and one of these hanging planters. I did take the top off. We're going to use this. We're going to need some painter's tape and also some spray paint. I'm going to use black, red, I think I might use white, or I might use some white craft paint for his little eyes. And then we're going to need a poly to coat all of our painting work so that the weather doesn't start flaking it off. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to turn my bowl over and I'm going to cut a hole so my planter will sit in there. I want to use a terracotta pot because of the weight with the terracotta pot and the soil for my plant. I think that will hold down the plastic bowl to the ground when it does get a little windy. What I want to do with this is I'm going to cut it down and I'm going to place the bowl over the picks here. And I'm going to make holes in my bowl so they will act like little ladybug feet. Plus, I can use them as stakes on the ground. So let's see if this works. I'm not for sure. The Dollar Tree basket is a little different shape than mine. I had this in my shed for a while, but I know Dollar Tree has those, and they might be easier to work with than mine because mine's a pretty heavy wire, but we're going to work on that anyway. So what I'm going to do is I already made a circle a little bit larger than the bottom of my pot because the terracotta pot kind of goes a little bit wider at top. So I bottom down, traced around it, giving it about a 4 to a ½ inch a little bit wider. So I take a utility knife and try to cut my bowl. This is a very thin plastic rubbery bowl, so I don't think I'm going to have a problem cutting it. Okay, now I'm going to try to take my scissors and cut around the line so I can make a perfect little circle. Okay, so now that I have my circle cut out, I am going to take some black spray paint and spray paint the outer part of my bowl black, and then let that dry, and then come in and we're going to do some detail to make this look more like a ladybug. My bowl is drying right now. I spray painted it all black. I am going to work on this part of the ladybug. I'm going to cut the rim of this planter, hanging planter off, and I'm hoping it's going to be easy. So I'm just taking a strong pair of wire snips and snipping the wire off of the top of the ring here because we don't need that. All right, so I removed the ring from this, and I don't know, this might be something I could use in the future. I don't know. I'm going to keep that down here. Okay, now that I have this cut off, I want 3 legs coming from each side of my ladybug, but I don't need the other part of it. All right, so it's really easy to remove the other part off. Now that I have my base of my ladybug all ready, these are the legs. There's going to be 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. I'm going to take my bow, but in order for me to slip this bow over the cage here, I want to make holes to thread the wire through. So I'm measuring the distance between the bottom of the wire here, and it's about 2 inches. So I'm going to place my bowl kind of on the wire here. It won't fit all the way down because the wire's longer than the bowl. And then I want to start the first wire here. I want to start here, and then I will measure 2 inches for the legs, because these are going to be more than 2 inches because it's the bowl goes wider at the top. So we're going to be placing this bow on the bottom. So we need to measure the bottom width between each wire and not the top. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the first 2 wires here and then measure 2 inches in between each. And then I'm going to poke a hole where my mark is, and then we're going to thread the wire through the bowl. Now I have the 3 holes on each side of the bowl. I want to go ahead and start forming the designs for the ladybug. Now I painted it black so I can add painter's tape before we give the body its red color. So prior to this, I went ahead and took some painter's tape and made large circles for the dots. So we need to make the large oval. And I'm going to go ahead and just add several lines of painter's tape. So I'm using 4 lines of painter's tape, making sure the seams are pretty secure. Then I'm going to take the bottom of this and use that for the face, and I'm using a placemat, a vinyl placemat from the Dollar Tree, so the painter's tape would not stick. So I'm pulling it off of my surface here, and I'm going to cut on the line. So I have my little oval and then the dots for my ladybug. Okay, bringing my bowl back. I'm going to add the face to my ladybug. So I have the 2 legs here. I want to go ahead and center his face between the 2 front legs, going all the way down to the bottom here. And then pressing this smooth. It'll be a little wrinkly, but making sure that the edges are smooth so that the red paint won't bleed through. Okay, now that we have his little head, I want to go ahead and form a little body for him. What I do is kind of made a line right here in the center of his head, taking some painter's tape and covering that up. I'm going to put a line of painter's tape to the center of his head and bringing it into the bowl. Now on the back, what I want to do is make a line, and then I want to kind of go into a triangle. So I've got my ladybug face and body done. Now I'm going to add the spots to the sides here. And I'm going to go ahead and take this outside and give it a coat of red paint, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to let my little ladybug dry thoroughly. But while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and take... Do you remember the 3 pieces that we cut off of the basket? Well, I'm going to use 2 of those and 2 wooden balls. And I'm going to take some E6000. So I'm going to go ahead and bend it, if you can see what I did. And then I'm going to take the bead and add some E6000 to the wire here. Now the hole to the bead is smaller than this, so I'm going to force it in And we have a little antenna there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray paint the balls black. Okay, so I have my little beads spray painted. I'm going to let those dry. Now we're going to paint some eyes and little eyelashes on my beetle here. Is take the end of this. It's a good size for eyes. So I'm just going to trace around this little cup here, 2 circles for his eyes. I'm going to take my glue stick here and make 2 black little circles. I'm going to take some white paint and do his eyes. Okay, so I'm done with this little eyes. Is that not so cute? And I did forget when I was doing the holes for the leg, I forgot to poke 2 holes for the little antennas. So I just used my craft knife and I poked 2 holes. So what I want to do is I have the ends of my wire here bent, and I want to just add that to the holes. But what I want to do is add E6000 to it just to make sure that it stays in place. And then I'm just going to poke it in. Now I'm going to push the elbow into the hole. And now I'm going to do the other one. Okay, so now that I have the little antennas on, I'm going to take what's inside, the wires inside, and take some floral wire and wrap them together so they don't move around. All right, that holds them in place pretty good. Is that not adorable? The legs in. So we're going to sit this inside and place the wire inside the little punched holes that we made earlier. All the way down. And it's making my ladybug the size. It's not a circle anymore. It looks pretty good. So now I am just going to bend my legs. I'm going to do it by my hand. If you can see what I did. I'm going to do the other side. So pushing it all the way down to almost to the bottom, it gave it a ladybug shape, if you could see that. It's not round anymore. And look how adorable this is. The legs, I will have a little bit to go into the ground so it won't move around. And with the terracotta pot, I can sit it in there. It will sit on the bottom of that cage, the hanging pot, and it won't touch the ground, so you'll have a little bit of drainage there. Before I put this in our flower bed, I want to give it a couple coats of the polyurethane spray. Give that a real good coat, let that dry, and then I'll put my planter in there with some flowers and I will show you what it all looks like. But is this not adorable? Also, if you like my little ladybug planter, give me a big thumbs up and sprinkle it with your friends. Also, go up to my page if you haven't already and start following Decorate with Tip and More. I would love to have you. Check here daily. You never know what I'll be working on. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. God bless. See you tomorrow.